called Fran and headed back and stopped in Columbus. And Fran and I and some of the people who work very, very closely with me were tested. It was not a rapid test, so we do not have the test back yet. But I feel fine. Have a headache, but I get a lot of headaches throughout my life, so a headache is not anything that unusual. So besides that, I feel well. So a big surprise to me, and certainly a big surprise to our family. When I found out, I called Fran, then I called each of our 7 children because I figured the news would be out pretty quickly, so I wanted them to hear that directly from me, and I was able to reach all of them. And so here we are. Fran and I just got back here in Cedarville, I guess about a half an hour ago. So more than happy to take any questions.
Just a reminder for reporters, you will remain on mute until your question is called. If you wish to ask a question, please mention so in the Zoom chat. Governor, our first question will be from Kevin Landers at WBNS 10 TV in Columbus.
Hello, Governor. Can you hear me?
Hey, Kevin. I can hear you well, Kevin. Thank you.
Very, very good. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Sure.
Governor, do you have any idea where you may have contacted this virus? And considering your age, what have doctors told you about your recovery from it? Thank you.
Well, they haven't told me anything, but I've read enough about it, just have some idea what we're dealing with. So we've not had any discussion with any doctor about that. So where did I get it? I have no idea. You're watching me on the front porch at our home that we've lived in since 1974. I basically, since the virus came on, since we started dealing with the coronavirus in March, Fran and I have lived out of here. We were living out of here every week during the weekend, but we left the governor's residence. We came here. We have a farm that goes down that way. We're very, very careful with who we see. We have 2 daughters that live down the road. We have 4 grandchildren, but even with them, we wear a mask. We walk down there. We keep our distance. Both our daughters are pregnant, expecting babies, and we're very excited about that. But we keep our distance there. As far as our office, there's really 4 people down that way. I see these 4 people only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or Eric, who's behind the camera, who you hear me always talking about, who's also behind the camera today. He was also tested today. I'll see him if we do a remote TV shot. We did Cuomo last night, CNN. We did it from right in here in the house, and he was there. So with those 4 people, home that we've lived, that's really about it.
Have you been getting tested regularly before now as a matter of your government's protocol? What does testing look like for you other than when you publicly demonstrated a test in June and in preparation for the president's visit today?
That's the only other test I've had. So as of right now, I've had 3 tests, 2 today, and that one that we did publicly. That was it. I mean, I had no symptoms. I had no indication that, no reason to think I had the COVID-19. So I've not done any other testing.
What message do you hope that this sends to Ohioans? I mean, you're someone who has very publicly worn a mask and advocated for masks and social. And like you said, you've not left your residence. You've avoided a lot of public gatherings, even when the vice president was in town last month. So what does this kind of say to Ohioans or to the American public that someone who took all the precautions still got it?
Well, it's nothing really new. I mean, it's what we've said and what the experts have said, and that is that it's very contagious. It is here. It lives among us. We know you're always simply dealing with trying to improve your odds. And when you wear a mask, you're improving your odds dramatically. But that does not mean you won't get it. You restrict the number of people you see. That improves your odds dramatically. But it simply does not mean that, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in life. So, I don't think people should read a whole lot into this. It is other than what we already know, which is this is very dangerous, and it's very contagious.
Governor, your next question is from Ori Givens at Spectrum News.
There we go. Good afternoon, Governor. First of all, I want to wish you well. I hope you recover quickly. I want to ask about the test. What type of test was it that you took that gave you the results so quickly? And I'm curious how available those tests are.
This was a test that was arranged by the White House. And frankly, that's all I know. I really did not ask. I didn't think much about it. The protocol, of course, is I had, at one point I had an appointment to see the president in Washington. They explained that I would get a test right then. They would get the results back, and then I would be able to go see the president. That did not take place. The meeting did not take place. I think we had some conflict. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a rapid test. I mean, they got the results back right away. But beyond that, I can't tell you. I'm sure the White House can tell you exactly what the test was. I don't know.
Our next question is from Laura Queso of WKYC in Cleveland.
Hey, Governor, I'm glad to see you are doing well. I do have a question. Social media kind of going crazy right now. A lot of people saying this is an example of why I don't need to wear a mask. I thought masks worked. What would you say to those people who are now doubting that whether or not they should wear a mask, since clearly you have been wearing one?
Well, I've already got a few texts, not so nice texts from people about that. It's sort of, we told you this was all fake, and we told you that wearing masks didn't matter. But look, we know it does. If people, take that lesson from the fact that I apparently have it, that would be the wrong lesson. It would be very, very sad, and that will upset me quite a bit because that's not the lesson that should come from this. The lesson should come from this is that we're all human. This virus is everywhere. This virus is very tough. And yes, you can contract it even when you're being very, very careful and even when you're wearing a mask. But your odds are just dramatically better. And my odds obviously, weren't good that day that I contracted it. And there's some things that are out of our control, but, I've had some people in the past of made mention of God and that we should trust in God. And I kind of go back to what my wife, Fran, always has said, as long as I've known her, and that is, God helps those who help themselves. And so, you try and you do those things. And usually, we know it improves your odds. It improves your chances of not getting it or decreases the chances that you get it. But there's nothing certain in life. And, it's not, there's just no guarantees in life.